Hello, I am Captain Clueless. Today we're talking about dragons.
Captain Clueless.
This is my spoiler-filled review of How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. And in a word, disappointing. But if you don't want spoilers, stop watching because I am just going to ruin the whole movie and everyone's going to hate it after they watch my video because they'll realize just how terrible of a movie it really is and how ashamed DreamWorks should be that they made this and that they made it part of the How to Train Your Dragons franchise. Like, this could be something that, it was like a Netflix original film, but, it's just awful. Just awful. First thing I want to discuss is the fact that there's some continuity errors between the first and second movies and this movie. So, How to Train Your Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon 2, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. So immediately there's like this is not like the others. There's the original 2, this one should be 3, but they called it The Hidden World. And I'll say right up front, The Hidden World is barely even part of the plot of this movie. It is so insignificant to the whole thing that's going on that I'm just really upset that they even named it The Hidden World. It should have been called The Crimes of Grimmel. I didn't mean that to be a Harry Potter thing. So yeah, right out of the gate, there's this not quite like the others vibe happening, but I still think that it could have been good, even with the title being about something. Well, I thought that there would be more about the hidden world in the movie. I thought there would be a huge plot point, and then it would have been fine, but it wasn't. So beyond that, when we start the movie, the very first thing that you're supposed to hear in a How to Train Your Dragon movie is, "This is Burke." That's how they start and end. So, hiccup, very first movie, "This is Burke." It's a few degrees south of, wait, let me get the actual script here. So the first movie starts, "This is Burke. It's 12 days north of Hopeless and a few degrees south of freezing to death. It's located solidly on the meridian of misery." And he goes on, talks about his village, and then, gets into the dragon crisis, right? And then when it ends, scroll down to the bottom. "This is Burke. It snows 9 months of the year and hails the other 3. Any food that grows here is tough and tasteless, or even more so, but we have dragons because dragons are great." And that's the whole point, right? Okay, so that's How to Train Your Dragon 1. In the second movie, "This is Burke, the best kept secret of this side of, anywhere. Blah, blah, blah. Life here is amazing. And look, we have dragons and we like to race them because dragons are so cool." Okay? How to Train Your Dragon 2 ends with, "This is Burke, a bit trampled and busted and covered in ice, but it's our home. Oh, but it's home. It's our home." And I'll get back to why that particular line just causes lots of problems for the third movie. And, throughout the second movie, they're attacked and their home is kind of destroyed, but they're used to it. They're rebuilding, and they have their dragons, and they love them. What does he say here? "We may be small in numbers, but we stand for something bigger than anything the world can pit against us. We are the voice of peace, and bit by bit, we will change this world. You see, we have something they don't. Oh, sure, they have armies, and they have armadas, but we have our dragons." The third movie, not only is the title incongruous, it does not start with the "This is Burke" voiceover. It starts with a raid scene of Hiccup and the gang going and rescuing some dragons. And, immediately when I was sitting down and watching it, I was just like, what? No, I need Hiccup's monologue. I need the stage set. I need to feel the love for the dragons that these people have. But instead, I just got a botched raid by a bunch of doofuses who don't know how to be normal or something. Well, after the raid scene, we get to "This is Burke," and he's talking about how we have all these dragons, and he thinks it's great, but then you see other people who are like, this is not what we signed up for when we wanted dragons. "This is Burke" is a huge part of it, and in the third movie, they leave Burke and they don't go back, which is so dumb because at the end of the second movie, they erect a giant statue of Stoic and they just leave it. In the third movie, they leave their home, everything that they've ever had, their home for however many generations, Hiccup says, and they just leave it, and they don't go back. Why not? I don't know. Why did they leave in the first place? Yeah, there's a good reason, but they should have gone back when the threat was gone, right? Apparently not, which is stupid. It's just stupid. I'm so mad. Anyway, back to the beginning of the third movie. Got a little carried away there. The raid scene, they rescue all the dragons, and then they take them back to Burke, which is kind of stupid. Like, yeah, you saved them, but you can see that you're a little crowded there. These dragons were wild and were living on different islands. They could do what they pleased. You didn't have to take care of them. They are creatures that have instincts. They can fend for themselves for the most part. So yeah, you did them a service by taking out the dragon capturers, dragon hunters. But why did you have to bring them to your home and cater to their every wish? That's like a huge premise of the plot, but there's no reason for them to bring all those dragons back to Burke. You don't have to protect all the dragons all in one spot against all the dragon hunters. You could just let them live their lives, and when you get aware of some dragon hunters, you go, oh, okay, let's go stop the dragon hunters. Boom, we're done. Let's talk briefly about something that I thought was good, and that was that Stoic actually had a few lines post-mortem. He takes Hiccup and he says, "This is Burke, this is our home, but out there is the home of the dragons. I believe it's your destiny one day to find it." And it's like this good, wholesome fatherhood moment that I really appreciated, because someday I'm going to be a father, and I want to have a talk like that with my son. Say, somewhere out there is the home of the dragons, and it's your destiny to go there. I wish my dad had told me that, because I just love dragons. And now back to something that's just super frustrating. This movie is called How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. But the hidden world is like one scene, kind of 1.5, maybe 2 scenes of the hidden world. And it has very little to do with the plot, which is, Grimmel hunting the Night Fury. Except that they send all their dragons there in the end, which I think is pointless. Anyway, point is, Volca, when Hiccup meets her in the second movie, she draws him a map of the world. He lays out his, and she's like, you think that's good? And she draws the whole world. So she has seen basically everything, and yet somehow she did not find the hidden world. Even though in the third movie, they just are flying to get away from something, and they're like, oh look, the hidden world, I found it. It's the edge of the world. Isn't that nice? That's just convenient and stupid. If I'm not mistaken, they find the hidden world because Toothless follows the Light Fury there, and then Stormfly, which is Astrid's dragon, follows the scent there. Well, one thing right off the bat, how are you going to follow the scent through the ocean? It's A, not possible. B, why did the Light Fury know where the hidden dragon world is? Is she from there? If so, how did the dragon hunters find her in the first place if she was living in this hidden world? And if that's the case, why did they send all their dragons to the hidden world? Because the dragon hunters know where the hidden world is. That's no good. That's no good at all. Because you just gave away your dragons, and the dragon hunters are going to go there and hunt dragons where they're all in one spot. Which is exactly what you did not want, which is why you sent them away. Also, the hidden world is underground. Dragons are flying creatures, and yeah, it's a big cavern, I'll give you that. But these are creatures of the sky. Volca says in the second movie, they're flying on the dragons. She says, "This is what it is to be a dragon." flying through the sky. I don't even feel the cold, I just feel free. But you just send all the dragons to an underground cave to rot for centuries. That's so stupid. Like, I could understand maybe that's where they go to mate and lay eggs, but then they're back out in the wild. That would make sense. But they just lived there, underground, in a hole with some luminescent algae. I mean, admittedly, it is very beautiful. The designers and the animators, great job on building the hidden world. It's too bad that there wasn't more of it in the movie, because it is called the hidden world, after all. Also, the waterfall going into it is in the middle of the ocean, and so shouldn't the hidden world just fill up with water? How is it not filled with water? Is there like some weird pump dragon that lives in the bottom and just pumps out the salt water as it comes in? That doesn't make any sense. The whole place just doesn't make any sense. Who designed this? I'm so mad! So just to recap, the hidden world, A, was not shown enough, B, shouldn't be possible as is, and C, is not a home fit for dragons anyway. So, just stupid. So let's just ignore the hidden world for now and talk about the plot generally and pretend that the hidden world is actually fit for dragons and makes sense. So the whole premise of the film is dragon hunters are trying to hunt dragons, and the Burkians don't like that because they like dragons. Like, that's the whole plot, right? So these dragon hunters are like, man, the Stoics boy Hiccup is just making life really hard for us, and they call in Grimmel because, you know, he's the best. We want him to help us. And they're like, he's got a Night Fury, and he's like, what? Fine, I'll help you, because I need to kill every Night Fury. Because I kill Night Furies. He doesn't even have, like, a good backstory. His backstory is literally, I shot down a Night Fury, and unlike you, I killed it. And since then, I've made it my mission to kill every Night Fury. Why? Why? That's so dumb. How about a Night Fury ate my dad? Like, that's at least somewhat of a reason. So, Hiccup literally has a better reason to hate Night Furies than Grimmel does. But Grimmel has made it his mission to kill all the Night Furies. So stupid. Anyway, so yeah, Grimmel is a terrible villain. But really the whole premise is he just likes to hunt dragons, and he's gonna hunt them, and the Burkians are gonna try to stop him, but oh man, he's just too powerful. Did they forget that they have a huge army of dragons that are fiercely loyal to them, that they could take and destroy the people who are trying to destroy them? It says at the end of the second movie, if you'll remember, if I can find it, those who attacked us are relentless and crazy, but those who stopped them, oh, even more so. We may be small in numbers, but we stand for something bigger than anything the world can pit against us. We are the voice of peace, and bit by bit, we will change this world. You see, we have something that they don't. They have armies and armadas, but we have our dragons. The Burkians have a huge force of dragons that they could take to go against this honestly significantly smaller force that's coming against them, but they're like, no, we can't do it because we can't. And they never explain why, ever, in the whole movie. It's just like, there's dragons. Yeah, you also have dragons. You're not powerless. You don't have to run. So yeah, the whole plot is bad guy attacks, they leave to a different place, and then they kind of skirmish, and then they're like, oh, we can't have dragons anymore, the world's not ready for them. Did they forget the whole, we are the voice of peace, and bit by bit, we will change the world? Apparently, they forgot. Because they're just like, oh, the world's not ready for dragons, we'll have to send them away. It's so terrible. This is going to be a really long video. To be fair, I think I know why the director/writer decided to do it this way. I think what they're going for is to instill in young people's hearts a belief that the dragons are still out there, and if we can make the world a peaceful place, the dragons will come back. Which is good, but as an adult, I realized that there are no dragons, and I don't need this false belief that there are dragons, because I know better. So I can kind of see the appeal to want to, send the dragons away, have a kind of a bittersweet ending where it's like, yeah, you go there, you'll be safe, and in a few hundred years, you can come back out. But it's just stupid. The whole point of the movie, in my view, is to create a world wherein dragons can exist, because they don't exist here. And so you kind of botched that when you said dragons can't exist in this world either, because people are just terrible. And so really, you've just made me feel like the whole franchise was a waste, because Hiccup spent all this time forging bonds between humans and dragons. And if you remember Eret, son of Eret, he was a dragon hunter, and he came to like dragons at the end of the second movie. So clearly it is possible to take dragon hunters and make them like dragons. But they just give up on that goal and send the dragons away so that we can pretend to believe that the dragons are still out there. Which is just stupid. It's just stupid. Have I said it enough? Let's talk about Toothless flying on his own. I have a real problem with that, though I understand that it was necessary in order to move the plot in the direction that they wanted to go, which I still think is a stupid direction, but I understand why Toothless needed to fly on his own. But the whole premise of the first movie is that the dragon cannot fly on his own. He needs a rider. That's why they became friends in the first place. And so in the third movie, it's like, no, don't worry about it. We can just make you a tail that will work just like your normal one and will not break down after several years of wear and tear in a very wet, moist environment with lots of fungi and things. You expect me to believe that that tail actually withstood all that time in the hidden world? Another really dumb thing that's not related to dragons, just to do with the human side of things, is they tried to make Tough Nut like this really smart person, even though he's an idiot. No, Rough Nut and Tough Nut. Tough Nut's the dude, right? I don't know. They're a package deal. The boy one, yeah, he's like got his hair down. He's like, look at my lush beard, cry into my beard. I'm so cool. He's so stupid, but then he's got his line where everyone believes the world is flat. But these are Vikings. Like, if anybody knew that the world was not flat, it should have been the Vikings, right? You'd think. But where was I going with this? Tough Nut, he's like, yeah, the Earth's actually a sphere because, the moon's round and the sun is round and the stars are round, even though they're really small and stupid. So yeah, why wouldn't the Earth be round? And like, it's kind of passed off as a joke, but he's not smart. He's an idiot. So why'd you give him the smart person line? And shouldn't they have all known that the Earth was round? And like, when they discovered the hidden world, if there was like a waterfall at the edge of the ocean, maybe if it stretched forever in every direction, like, oh yeah, it's the end of the world, and look, dragons. But instead, there's just a hole in the middle of the ocean. How is this the end of the world? Just, like, it would have to be a sphere if that is the end. Doesn't make any sense at all. I hate this movie. I wanted a world where humans and dragons were good together, but they ruined it. DreamWorks ruined it. I hate them for that. So, yeah, boycott How to Train Your Dragon 3. Not that it's going to do any good at this point, because it's been in theaters forever. But I want you to know I still love dragons, and I still want my own dragon someday that I can fly. And even if it's just like an overgrown chicken and it's not nearly as intelligent as the dragons in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, I still want one. But it's just stupid and so not what it should have been. And I'm mad. That's all I got for you today, man. Captain Clueless out.